Okay, today I want to walk you through how I make my cloth masks that specifically have pleats and also matching ties. And this first component I want to show you is the ties part because um, using homemade ties that match your fabric, obviously it's cute. It's kind of a pain because it's more time consuming. However, the reason I have been doing it is because there are some other options you can use, but there are some issues with them that I've found. So first, elastic would be an obvious option, but it's kind of in short supply. And also, you might have somebody who has an allergic issue with elastic, or you might not want to use it because it breaks down if it breaks down in the drying machine, and also you don't get as good a fit. Another option is shoelaces. I have no shoelaces in my house. And then another option I tried was just basic ribbon, satin ribbon, and I found it was too slippery for my Asian hair. So here we are at ties, and the reason I wanted to do one specific chunk about just the ties themselves to start is that this process I just learned a couple things along the way. Now, first, what I recommend before you even get your mask started is I feel like doing it in phases and batches is the way to go. So you'll actually see kind of in the background here, I'll bring it up, that I have a bunch of pieces that I ironed and prepped in advance, just because doing a bunch of different ones in advance was so much better. So when you cut your ties, one tutorial from the New York Times that I have leaned heavily on, they recommend doing their strips 3/4 of an inch, but then I found them impossible to fold. So my strips are more like 1.25 inches. Let me just do that. And then what I do is press them in half when you're downstairs or wherever doing your ironing. So you've got a nice flat fold. So then the way you get your ties ready to sew is that you're going to want to create the finished end that's going to be facing out. So I would fold it over once and then fold one half over to the pressed line and then fold the other. So ultimately, this is how you're going to have it. And then put it together. Again, you kind of see how it's sort of, you just got to kind of scrunch it in there. You could press this downstairs, but I just found like I hate ironing so much. It's another step. And once you have it in place, just grab a pin. My pins are all wonky and bent. And just pin that shut, okay? But now the thing is, when you're actually sewing these, and again, I sew them all in batch, I found when I was first trying to do this is that I would try to sew from this end that is all folded over and done. And my machine kept getting caught. So a bunch of my ends, let me try to find a bad one. Seriously, I do have some. This was the second mask, so they're a little bit better. But on this one, yeah, a bunch of them, like the fabric just got all like mangled and tied and not so great. And I knew my mom would be judging me if I gave her a mask like that. So I realized when you sew these all shut and you're going to sew them down the middle, start with the loose end that is not, you don't need to run back and forth over. That's why I was getting the knots on that other one. So just, fold over. You just do your simple fold over to meet them in the middle. You're basically creating bias tape. Fold them over. And because it's not popping out, since you don't have the finish fold, you can just hold it like that and stick it in your machine. Put the foot down and put your needle down and it'll be pretty much in the center. And then what I do instead of pinning this whole thing, because I'm lazy about pinning and my pins are all bent, is I just fold over one half, fold over the other half to meet it, and I just kind of hold it. You see I've got, I don't know, what is this length? It's around six inches in length. That is ready to go. And then you don't have to back and forth over the end because you'll do that plenty when you actually attach these into the mask, and just go down right the center. Okay, and then you stop when you're getting close to the end of your folded bit and you just do the same thing. You just fold one half over, fold the other half to meet it. Now your raw ends are all tucked in. fold both over, and now you've got a nice tie, okay? And then just keep going. Okay, and you'll just have to do one more of these. You'll see you've already got your pinned end here, so it should be pretty easy to meet those two ends. You see, we're all set. Go to the end. Okay, now slow down when you get to your pin so you don't run your pin over. Take it out. And what you're going to want to do is just hold the end, you know, guide it the rest of the way through, and then go back and forth a couple times just to really secure that end. So watch. I'm slowing it down. And done. Clip it real short, and you'll want to clip the threads on the other side. And boom, look at that finished end is all clean. You don't have that hot mess that I had on my other ones where I tried to start from that side. And what I would recommend is, this is actually for that pile, but I would recommend doing all of your ties before you do your mask assembly, because then you will just generally feel less crazy.